Hi, this is Rob. Welcome to Math Antics. In this lesson, we're going to learn some really important things about a whole branch of math called algebra. The first thing you need to know is that algebra is a lot like arithmetic. It follows all the rules of arithmetic, and it uses the same four main operations that arithmetic is built on: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. But algebra introduces a new element, the element of the unknown. When you were learning arithmetic, the only thing that was ever unknown was the answer to the problem. For example, you might have the problem 1 plus 2 equals what? The answer isn't known until you go ahead and do the arithmetic. Now, the important thing about algebra is that when we don't know what a number is yet, we use a symbol in its place. That symbol is usually just any letter of the alphabet. A really popular letter to choose is the letter X. So in arithmetic, we would just leave the problem like this: 1 plus 2 equals blank. And we would write in the answer when we did the addition. But in algebra, we'd write it like this: 1 plus 2 equals x. The x is a placeholder that stands for the number that we don't know yet. What we have here is a very basic algebraic equation. An equation is just a mathematical statement that two things are equal. An equation says the things on this side of the equal sign have the same value as the things on the other side of the equal sign. In this case, our equation's telling us that the known values on this side, 1 plus 2, are equal to what's on the other side, which happens to be the unknown value that we're calling x. One of the main goals in algebra is to figure out what the unknown values in equations are. And when you do that, it's called solving the equations. In this equation, it's pretty easy to see that the unknown value is just 3. All you have to do is actually add the 1 and 2 together on this side of the equation, and it turns into 3 equals x, which is the same as x equals 3. So now we know what x is. It's just 3. That almost seems too easy, doesn't it? And that's why in algebra, you're usually given an equation in a more complicated form, like this: x minus 2 equals 1. This is exactly the same equation as 1 plus 2 equals x, but it's been rearranged so that it's not quite as easy to tell what x is. So in algebra, solving equations is a lot like a game where you're given mixed up, complicated equations, and it's your job to simplify them and rearrange them until they're nice simple equations, like x equals 3, where it's easy to tell what the unknown values are. We're going to learn a lot more about how to actually do that, how to solve equations, in the next several videos. But for now, let's learn some important rules about how symbols can and can't be used in algebraic equations. The first rule you need to know is that the same symbol or letter can be used in different algebra problems to stand for different unknown values. For example, in the problem we just solved, the letter x was used to stand for the number 3, right? But x could stand for a different number in a different problem. Like if someone asks us to solve the equation 5 plus x equals 10. In order for the two sides of this equation to be equal, x must have the value 5 in this problem, because 5 plus 5 equals 10. So x, or any other symbol, can stand for different values in different problems. That's okay. But what's not okay is for a symbol to stand for different values in the same problem at the same time. For example, what if you had the equation x plus x equals 10? This equation says that if we add x to x, we'll get 10. And there's a lot of different numbers that we could add together to get 10, like 6 and 4. But if we had the first x stand for 6 and the second x stand for 4, then x would stand for two different values at the same time, and things could get really confusing. If you wanted symbols to stand for two different numbers at the same time, you'd need to use two different symbols, like x and y. So in algebra, whenever you see the same symbol repeated more than once in an equation, it's representing the same unknown value. Like if you see a really complicated algebraic equation like this, where x is repeated a lot of different times, all those x's stand for the same value, and it'll be your job to figure out what that value is.